Hello. What is a resume? Resume word is derived from the Greek word which means summary. So we apply for different positions, and for that we prepare a resume. But what is the correct way of preparing a resume, and what all things should be taken into account while preparing a resume, that we are going to discuss. So resume basically is a formal document that provides an overall qualification or relevance of you for a particular position, and that is in terms of the educational qualification, in terms of work experience, in terms of relevant work experience, your skills, your ability, etc. Okay, so we can say that resume is a summary or an overview of what all you have done so far, but it has to be brief and to the point. So resume, if we talk about it, basically should include a number of points, and certain things should be taken into consideration. First of all, the thing is that there are three different kinds of resume. The first is chronological resume, the second is the functional resume, and third is the combinational resume, also known as a hybrid resume. So talking about the functional resume, it talks about your work experience and your qualification in reverse chronological order. That is, that suppose currently you are a manager, earlier you were in a certain organization as a project manager or team lead, prior to that you were a senior software engineer, then prior to that you were a junior engineer. So that way, in the reverse chronology, you will mention all the details about your work progression. And apart from that, in your work educational qualification also, it will go the same way. So reverse chronology is the best way because it tells that where you are now and where you were earlier, because recruiter wants to see that what is your current status, what is your current profile, what are the current skill sets you're working on, and what is your current experience, with which organization you are currently working. So all those things are included in the reverse chronology. First thing is there, and then the previous organization or the previous profile or the previous job designation, and then reverse chronology it will follow. So it is this kind of resume is usually prepared, and it is good for all those who have relevant experience. Okay, same kind of relevant experience of several years. So if suppose you are a teacher and you have 10 years of experience in teaching, so you were always a teacher, so that is fine. So there is no change in that. You can mention in the reverse chronology based on your current experience, that with this school I'm working, earlier I was working in that school, so on. So that will be reverse chronology, because your relevant experience, your total years, so it's all just the same. But if suppose you have changed your profile, your domain, okay, for example, earlier you were a software professional for certain years, and then you thought that okay, instead of programming, let me come to data science. So you left it, okay, after 3-4 years of experience, and then you entered into some other field, that is, you did your masters in data science, and then you came back as a data scientist or data analyst, and now you're a data scientist, senior data scientist. So this way things are different now. Okay, you have an experience of programming, you have an experience of management, and especially in data science, but you want to go ahead with your career in data sciences. So why should you mention too much about your programming experience? So here your stress will be on the skills and abilities that you are practicing now and which you want to take ahead or take forward, that is in data science. So in that case, your resume will not go in reverse chronology, rather it is going to go in a form of a functional resume. That is, all you will focus on the current skill sets. Okay, these are the skills I'm working on. Okay, like time series, regression, Python, predictive modeling, and so on. So you will focus on the kind of skills and the projects you have done, relevant projects, and you will explain that instead of focusing on other things, like the time you have worked with this organization in a completely different profile, like a software professional. So functional resume are also very common these days. And then the third category of resume is the hybrid resume, or a combinational resume that focuses on not only your skill sets in a functional area, but also on the reverse chronology, because here the relevant experience is there, and you want to also highlight the kind of projects you have done, keeping in view the kind of skills that you are using. So most of the technical resume these days are the combinational or the hybrid resume. So these are the three kinds of resume. Now the thing is that what are the important things that should be there in the resume? The first thing should be your contact details. So your resume could be very good, but if it doesn't have important contact information that is lacking, then definitely your resume will not be shortlisted. So your name, your contact number, your mail ID, your LinkedIn profile link, and then of course your location. Now location doesn't mean the complete address, that is not needed, but yes, it needs the location. That is, for example, whether you are living in Gurgaon, Noida, Bangalore, wherever. Because if suppose it is about a different location, so recruiter will first see that whether you will be able to commute or not, or whether you will be able to relocate or not. So if you're living in Pune and you're applying for a position in Mumbai, so you're fine with that, so you must mention that you're ready to relocate. Okay. And also you should mention if within that area, like it's in north, it's South Delhi where you're residing, so you must at least mention the location. So for privacy or security concerns, you might not mention the details, but at least the location you can mention that it is in Delhi, South Delhi, East Delhi, whatever. So that way it will work. And your LinkedIn profile should be updated, and it should include some interesting projects and other things, because these days recruiters want to review your LinkedIn profiles before shortlisting you. So especially for creative people like graphic designers, UI, UL designers, and others also, they want to know, like those who are into management, so their experience and with which organizations they have worked, what kind of work. And also those who are into technical writing or they are creative writers. So LinkedIn is a good platform where you can showcase your talent, you can mention about all the details related to your projects, certifications, etc. So recruiter will review it only when you have mentioned its link on the resume. So you do that definitely. Then the next thing would be the objective of writing that resume. So here it is about, it's the initial impression, right? So you need to mention about the years of experience you have worked and the relevant profile. So if it is about the software professional that you are applying for a Java developer, you must mention relevant experience of 5+ years as a programmer with say 4+ years of experience in Java development. So experience and skill set must be there in your objective part, because it is the initial tool. They would first read it, and also not forget to customize it based on the requirement of the particular position. Okay, so it is not like one objective you have prepared, everywhere you are going to apply the same way. For example, if I am applying for a IT recruiter profile and I am applying for the HR journalist profile, I can't keep the objective same for both of them. I have to customize it, do slight changes, highlight certain keywords, incorporate certain keywords for IT recruiter, and for a journalist profile a different one. Therefore HR journalist profile. So therefore customization of the objective as well as of the entire resume is important. And the next part is of course going to be your work experience. So there you're going to talk about the organization, your job title, the period from which to which period you were there with that organization, and what were your notable achievements and accomplishments, the projects you have done over there. So the resume cannot be very long, only include the relevant projects. If it is not having any significant project, you can just skip mentioning that. Just mention your role and responsibility, and talk about the only those projects which are relevant to the particular position. So that is important. Apart from that, you must read the job description carefully, keeping in view the keywords. That is, there are always certain keywords that are there, and based on that, most of the companies use the applicant tracking system, or ATS, for shortlisting and sorting the resumes. So after going through the JD, you must edit your resume and try to highlight all the important keywords, or incorporate all the important keywords that were there in that job description. For example, for a manager profile or a managerial profile, you must mention about the leadership quality, then cross-functional management, all that. Just see to it that it is there in the job description. So let me just mention it here also. So some customization of resume is definitely important after you prepare a one standard resume. So you have to customize it according to the kind of job you are applying for. And then will be your educational qualification. Then again it will be in the reverse chronology, and you have to mention, not only, you might not mention the name of your school, but you can mention, or you should mention, the name of the college and the university. That has to be there. Many organizations ask for percentages. So if you have a very good academic record, do mention the percentage. But if you have a very average, you might skip it. Let them ask you first. So that is a thing that you have to keep in mind for educational qualifications. And of course, about the hobbies and interests, so these are basically for the fresher profile, that they have not much to say. So they will incorporate internships and college summer projects and all in their educational part. But in the hobbies, you will mention maybe about, say, cooking. So you can mention that. It gives some idea that suppose you're into cooking, that means you're a creative person. Or if suppose you're mentioning something like hiking or traveling, so that shows again that you are a person who likes exploring new things and you're physically fit. So all those things you can mention, that it gives an idea, but it need not be highlighted or in detail to be mentioned. And these are some of the points to be kept in mind for resume writing. So one thing should be definitely kept in mind, that customization of resume is extremely important. Otherwise, a one standard resume will not be able to get you shortlisted for all kind of jobs.